Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Triangle Strategy. This is episode 36, and, suck it, Jay. I'm good at guessing. Lick that rock. I can't believe it's fucking pink salt. Absolutely. Yeah, he's gonna be like,
My word, it tastes of salt. No, it is salt.
it is salt. Yeah, it's fucking salt. It's fucking salt.
Truly, a rock of salt.
Indeed, it is. And the story behind it is a long one. This crystal before you was brought here by Lady Orlear.
My mother brought this?
And you knew of this the whole time, Elder?
Yep.
Yes, but the seeds of conflict ought not to be left in the sun where they are apt to grow. That was our decision.
The wrong decision.
Are there any
Hiding
crystals like
secrets
this?
just allows things to fester
There
and
are.
allows the status quo
Lady
to exist.
Orlear spoke of a repository rife with salt hidden somewhere in Norzelia.
Oh, I
And
wonder
where
which.
might that somewhere be?
Unfortunately, I do not know. And I fear the knowledge passed with Lady Orlear herself.
Do you know anything about this, Lady Frederica? Anything at all? Did your mother ever mention these crystals to you before? It is imperative that you remember.
I apologize, but this is my first time hearing of them as well.
Calm yourself, Benedict. You're scaring the lass.
Aw, no
Calm
Houndour
myself.
for anybody.
The very existence of this crystal changes the nature of our realm as we know it. If you have ever wondered why Hyzant oppresses the Roselle or confines them to the source, this is your answer.
So they did it all to hide the existence of the repository and monopolize salt.
And not just that, anyone who finds that repository could reign over all Norzelia.
Would it really have so great an influence?
Salt is a divine boon, a gift from the goddess to her true believers. It is one of Hyzant's fundamental beliefs, one that, due to their monopoly on both salt and the source, has appeared true all these years. But no longer. With this crystal alone, we can prove their doctrine false.
Revealing their absolute teachings to be mere fabrications would shake Hyzant to its very core.
Yeah.
There may be hope for us yet.
A report, my lord. Hyzant's army is on the horizon.
Lord Serenoa, if you would, I should like to be the one to speak to them.
Of course, Benedict. I leave the matter in your capable hands.
What the fuck are you gonna do, Benedict? I swear to God, I will take your kidneys. I will take your fucking kidneys. Yeah, the idea that they actually just hid that makes no sense to me. Also, we literally just...
Lord Serenoa, how unfortunate it is for us to meet under such circumstances.
We are one of the greatest military mights in this game. House Wolfort has one of the strongest militaries in this setting. It made the difference on its own in the 30 Years' War. Or the Salt Iron War, not the 30 Years' War. Sorry, different. That was a real life actual war. In the Salt Iron War. The fact that this game does shit like this, where it's just like, oh, you're surrounded. No, you're gonna get stabbed. Like, that is ridiculous. They made the difference in the Spanish-American War. They fucking did it. They did it with their pink salt. It's just, come on. Like, God. Whatever.
But for disobeying the Holy One's order, I must strike you down.
Bring it the fuck on, Exham.
Before that, Minister Exham, there is something we wish to show you.
It is a mere fragment of something we have discovered in this village.
You remember when this was coming out and people were complaining about how dumb the Salt Iron War sounded? I think it's fine, right? Like my issue absolutely isn't they'd never heard of what real world wars were named. Absolutely. Like, I think the Salt Iron War, and I've from the very beginning I've been fine. Obviously, the idea of just boiling down resource conflicts to salt, iron, food is a little like meh, but it's not that outlandish, honestly. Like, I'm perfectly fine with it. What I'm not perfectly fine with is the writers of this game have apparently no grasp of strategy. They ignore travel and travel time. They ignore on one hand, we're like, oh, we're able to stave off Esfrost, which is the greatest military might, and then we don't have any military to protect ourselves against Hyzant. It's just, it's silly. Like, the writers just go, plot point. We do whatever we have to do to force this plot point down your throat. There's no consistency in the way that they write with any of this stuff. Anyways, moving on. I can't be the only one, though, going into this moment and sitting here thinking, okay, you're surrounded, right? They plan to kill you. You're somehow gonna bargain your way out of this by showing, hey, here's this thing that we know you absolutely want to keep secret more than anything else. Better not kill us. So you have the thing with you. Why don't we just kill you and take it and then the secret's safe? I don't... Explain this, game. Do me the...
crystal made entirely of salt.
Do me the favor.
What madness is this you speak?
Did he just lick it? He just licked it.
This is salt, indeed. But how is this possible?
He doesn't know. Alright, not all of the Saintly Seven are in the know.
It appears to have been passed down among the Roselle, and in a quantity large enough to rival the source.
Unbelievable.
Perhaps so, but we have proof. Salt can be found in places other than the sacred grounds beneath the goddess's feet. I am certain the implications do not escape you.
Again, why wouldn't Exham just order all of their deaths and then cover this all up?
What is it that you want?
They are not in a position to bargain with you, Exham.
An audience with the Holy One.
Why is that what we want?
And a guarantee of safety for us and everyone in this village.
That's better.
It would be a waste to dispose of both the crystal and House Wolford here.
What? You were literally just gonna do that. You were literally just going to dispose of House Wolford here, but then they showed you a crystal of salt and you were like, oh shit, you're trying to blackmail us. Or you're trying to, not blackmail us, but you're trying to, like, you know, break our power.
Very well then. I shall secure you an audience with the Holy One.
This is inane. You know what they could do, right? What they could have done instead, right? And this is, again, this is the issue that I have with this game, because it's not a bad game. It's so close to having a good story. It's just right on the cusp. It's like the writer, it's like someone wrote the skeleton of a good story, right? And then they hired less good writers. I'm trying to be nice here. They hired less professional or less experienced writers to come in and fill the gaps or something like that, right? So this scene, reframe the scene. Exact same situation, right? Hyzant is going to kill House Wolfort here. But Exham doesn't know about the salt, right? Rewrite this so that Exham's curious, right? Like, Exham is, not only is Exham curious, but Exham sees an opportunity for more power for himself, because he's already extremely powerful, right, within the Saintly Seven, but he's not the Hierophant, he's not the Holy One, right? So there's always someone still above him in power, right? That's part of the rewrite him to be. That's part of the problem he had with Sorsley, right? Is because there's always someone who has more authority than him, right? Have Exham be this kind of like overly ambitious man who's just like, I have to rise to the top. And when he sees this crystal, right, he's like, if I find this, if I know what they know, if I can figure this out, right, I could just take that myself, right? And I wouldn't even need Hyzant at that point. I would need to be a member of the Saintly Seven. I could just be one, right? So rewrite this to where Exham is making this decision to spare House Wolfort out of his own ambition and greed and curiosity, rather than some weird kludgy mess where it's like, oh, well, they're framing us. Oh, no.
And you have my word that the village will be safe from harm.
Your word means nothing to me.
Thank you, Minister.
Oh, how I wish I could see the Holy One's face contorted so.
Or just rewrite Exham to actually be a good guy, right? So he takes any opportunity to go against the Holy One's words, right? Because he is in a position of power and he's trying to make the most of it, right? But he can't trump the Holy One's power, right? There's so many different ways that you could write this that are actually interesting and have good motivations for characters and things like that. It's still dumb that we had none of our army there, but whatever. We owe our lives to the crystal.
Or salt crystal, shall we call it?
The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzelia. The blessings of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
Can you imagine if crystals like this were hidden beneath the surface of Norzelia?
I cannot imagine Hyzant being blind to their
We're
existence.
so close to the
Salt's the
fucking
lifeblood of the
discovery there.
Agreed.
Like, Serenoa, come on,
Which
just make that
leads
intuitive
me to
leap.
believe that they have relentlessly oppressed the Roselle to hide it.
My only problem with this is fuck the Roselle, right? Like, who gives a shit about the Roselle in this instance? Just like what happened in Norzelia with the joint mining operation, right? Like, it would be found. It would be found. Like, mining is not always like 3 immense nations forming a giant mining operation, right? Like, mining is you know, a single family that mines or pans or what have you, right? Like, any number of things. Like,
You intend to negotiate with the Holy One, then?
how? Like,
Correct.
with
This
what
time,
leverage?
We shan't fail. Not with this salt crystal in our hands. Hyzant will swear its support to us.
Why would they support us? Especially if the only evidence of this scenario is this single salt crystal Kill us and take it.
If their teachings are truly false, could you not ask them to free the Roselle at the source?
Why would they do that?
That is a risk we cannot afford to take.
Oh, Benedict has a war crime up his sleeve? I guess that's always
Our
fair.
first priority is rebuilding Wolfort.
Rebuilding? You make it sound like Wolfort got torn down. You make it sound like Wolfort got burned to the ground, but it didn't. Game. Again, making it as if my choices don't fucking matter to the narrative. Annoyance.
Without it, we cannot even hope to protect our own Rosellan village. I do hope you understand.
No, I don't understand.
I see. I suppose you are right.
And what will you do once granted those privileges, Benedict?
What will I do?
I tire of being made to decide like this time and time again. Don't you, Serenoa?
I do. Our choices grow ever harder, each time piercing me deeper.
It's time we decide what to do for ourselves. I wish to reclaim Glenbrook.
My god, finally.
With Hyzant beside us, we can defeat Esfrost. So when we meet, I will ask the Holy State to go to war with us.
It's the Salt Iron War, round 2! Literally House Wolfort and Hyzant versus Glenbrook and Esfrost. Yay yoy!
House Wolfort protects the Roselle in defiance of the Holy One's orders. Hyzant sends an army to punish Wolfort for their disobedience.
That army gets stalled for no apparently good reason.
Cornered though they may be, Serenoa and his comrades discover a crystal of salt, hidden in the Rosellan village. Benedict leverages its very existence in negotiations with the opposing General Exum and succeeds.
For no reason. Again, just kill them and take it.
The crystal holds the power to change not only Hyzant, but the entire land of Norzelia. With it in hand, Serenoa goes to meet the Holy One.
Doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
We granted you an audience because of Minister Exham's petition, but I did not expect you to show us this. A crystal made of salt. How very fascinating.
Holy One about to find out from the past 30 years of fucking around. Yeah. I'm really curious how they're gonna like resolve all of this. I just don't know. Someone's about to get right? Like, why? We've seen the Holy One be able to go, snap, everybody dies, right? Like, why would the Holy One not just go like, oh shit, boom, you're dead, boom, you're dead, boom, you're dead, and just wipe everyone in the fucking room, right? Everyone in the room that doesn't already know about the salt, wiped, right? Like,
it certainly does contradict the doctrine here in our blessed land. Or it would, were it real.
oh, the salt crystal isn't real. I'm Idor.
Have you any proof that this was not created by magic or technology?
Fuck off.
Well,
y'all didn't think of
With
this?
all due respect, Minister, I have a question for you in return. What do you think of Esfrost and Glenbrook's decree to stop trade with Hyzant?
I really hope Benedict has pieced it together, right? The obvious scenario being that Frost and Glenbrook would only stop trade with Hyzant if they had a way to replace the salt that they trade Hyzant for, right?
I think it nothing more than a threat. Neither would last very long without our salt.
Unless they had replacements.
Gustadov is no fool. Such an edict would not come without proper countermeasures in place.
I'm just going to throw this out there. You know what the actual proper countermeasures for this type of thing are in real life history? It's buying increased quantities of the good that you intend on going to war over and stockpiling it, right? So all it would be is buying, not even a crazy amount, but like over the last 15 years, right? Buying an extra 10% salt every month, right? And then you have this massive stockpile of salt when the time comes to where you're like, fuck you, Hyzant, right? And then you strangle them because via trade, right? Because they're like, we make everything, all of our wealth, all of our power comes off of the trade of salt. If we all of a sudden can't trade salt, their economy collapses, their people starve, the city rebels, their power is broken inside of a couple months, right? Like,
countermeasures such as another source of salt, for example.
The only alternative, right, is if their rulers see that coming and they take the appropriate countermeasures as well, right, to stockpile food or what have you.
Having their own salt would make Hyzant's redundant at best, and your nation would soon find itself in dire straits without the salt tax's revenue.
What is it you want from us?
Your full support.
Lend us your strength, and together we can defeat Esfrost, and Hyzant's ties to all nations will remain intact.
That's not how that works. No. That's you're missing something there, Cyrano. You're missing something there, Benedict. Right? Their power only continues to exist with the oppression of the Roselle and the hiding of this alternate form of salt. By siding with them, you are basically saying, we will allow you to continue to oppress the Roselle, and once we defeat Esfrost and reclaim Glenbrook, right? Obviously, we're going to find out, or we're going to have access to what they have access to. So, what that means is we're saying, we will also keep it a secret.
You mean to start a war?
There's been a war, been at war this entire time.
The Kingdom of Glenbrook may be naught but a puppet now, but it was once your homeland. You understand this, yes?
We do.
Even so, my people do not wish for war. We must try to resolve this peacefully first.
Motherfucker, we are here because you sent an army into my lands. You do not wish for war? What were you just doing?
Do you think Gustadolf can be reasoned with?
My goodness.
Need I remind you that it was he who invaded Glenbrook?
Shut up, Roland.
He is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
He's not in sheep's clothing. He's just a straight up wolf. There's no sheep's clothing about him. He's not hiding. Oh, I'm such a nice guy. No, he has the reputation of a ruthlessly intelligent dictator.
Be that as it may, neither my people nor soldiers will accept it as a reason to go to war.
Then I shall give you one.
Oh,
For I am.
finally. My God. Finally.
The second son of King Regna.
I really want everyone in the room to be like, yeah, we already knew that, you know? No shit.
Roland Glenbrook.
Okay. So earlier on in the game, his title, his lineage alone was not enough for us to raise an army, get Hyzant's aid, go to war. But now it is?
You live.
Kamsel, you live. Oh.
There is no mistaking that face.
Huh. So the prince lives to slay his kingdom's invader. We could not ask for a better reason.
You really couldn't, even from a historical standpoint. It is now that their entire religion is on the line. I'll grant you that. I suppose.
If you need a just cause to go to war, let it be me.
liberating the kingdom from oppressive tyranny, not a just cause. Reclaiming the kingdom for the male heir, that's a just cause. Because, like, let's reiterate, right? Like, Glenbrook has a queen of Regna's dynasty right now, right? It has a legitimate ruler. And they called it a puppet state. They know it's a puppet state, right? So, liberation is already on the cards. But it's somehow better liberation when we're installing Roland rather than liberating Cordelia.
We must stop Gustadolf.
Fucked up. I don't trust that hooded figure.
It all makes sense now. O Holy One, have you heard? Pray, tell me what you would have us do. It shall be done. Wolfort, Prince Roland, heed the words of the Holy One.
I don't want this.
The holy state of Hyzant stands with you.
I don't want this. You know what? The only reason why I want this is I want this so that we can reclaim Glenbrook and defeat Esfrost. And then I want to immediately turn around and march on Hyzant and be like, alright, look, y'all have two choices. We're going to put you in the dirt, or you're going to quit this shit, free the Rosellans, and we're going to all go about our business, right? They still talking to the Holy One when we have the salt proving their shit ain't real? Well, the Holy One is a person, right? Like, the Hierophant is the person in the tent, and that is an actual, supposedly, right? That is an actual person, right?
The Holy One would see you defeat Esfrost.
Oh, well, you're saying, like, their religion isn't true? Well, I mean, like, yeah, I guess that's fair, but the power structure's still real, you know?
Our nation shall spare no effort in your fight against Gustadolf.
Yeah, that's fair.
From this day forth, we support Prince Roland as our commander, and Lord Serenoa as one of the Saintly Seven.
I do not want any of this.
Saint. We are brethren now. We ride to war together.
I don't want to. I really don't. I really, really don't.
Well, would you look at that? We secured Hyzant's support, and you even got yourself named one of the Saintly Seven.
We also received a signed document stating the Roselle in Wolford are left in our care.
Good going, lad.
Oh, it is Benedict and Roland to whom we owe this victory.
Everyone here has suffered so much on my behalf. My weakness and worthlessness have brought pain and misfortune to you all. And for that I must apologize.
You've got nothing to apologize for.
I really hope the second. I
told
feel
you.
like this is like
House
the
Wolfort's the sword and shield
being
of the
proud of
crown.
being Saintly Seven is like being proud of leading the clan. Yeah, it's
I've
absolutely.
decided that I must press forward.
I really do have to
Even
say
if
that
it
the
means crawling
writers.
forth on my
It
hands and
feels
I
weird
ask for
that
your
they've
support as
leaned into the
always.
storyline in this way.
I know I will need it.
And you shall have it. I am with you every step of the way, my lord.
Like, definitely not. Definitely not a fan, honestly. There.
Is something the matter, Frederica?
Yeah,
No.
her people are still
My apologies
enslaved.
for worrying you.
Now, to battle! We take back Glenbrook with our own hands!
Bum, bum, ba-da-bum-bum-bum.
Did you know about this salt crystal exam?
No. Neither did I know of Prince Roland's survival. I thought he had perished.
Likewise. What did you make of the Holy One's decree?
Hyzant is a grand nation, but unfortunately not one blessed with a bountiful harvest of anything other than salt.
Still, I still have just incredible trouble believing that any of these people are like, yeah, the Roland thing's not surprising, because literally, like, House Wolfort was harboring Prince Roland, harboring, and then all of a sudden he just up and dies. Body dumped in the river. Like, that's the silliest thing in the face of the planet, honestly.
Were we not able to trade, there is no doubt our nation would wither to naught. We've relied solely on salt for much too long, and that reality was made painfully clear to us.
Harsh words, but true nonetheless. Do you think we can triumph over Esfrost?
Mark my words, Minister Camsell. There is no fight Exham Marshal cannot win.
Except fights against me. This lass.
The Holy One has ordered for us to deliver our Elfric to House Wolfort.
And here I thought your research results to be top secret. What a curious turn of events.
Is this gonna fix Dad?
Perhaps the Hierophant determined it a good chance to test them in the field. They could easily sink an Esfrosti's ship or two.
And yet I see not a trace of a smile on you.
I never wanted to build weapons for war.
Yet you don't think twice about toying with human life. How ironic.
How dare you!
I mean, she's right, isn't she?
Have a wonderful day.
Who is this person? And why are they important? I still feel like
the
there's...
audacity of Edor's dog.
So I'm gonna say this. While I feel like I'm grasping more and more of what's going on, I do feel like there is a underlying thread here that has not been delved into. And those are things like, what's actually up with this lady, right? The Bewitching Dancer. What's actually up with the Hierophant, the Holy One, right? Edor's place in all of that. Could I not bring up her profile when she spoke? I guess I could have. You mean the Bewitching Dancer? It's true. Well, whoops. I forget that that's actually an option, honestly. If I see her again, I'll do that. Or I'll try to remember to do that. I make no promises. See, like, I bet Path Divergence 1, but it comes back to here. Path Divergence 2, and it continues to go down, 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 but I bet it converges back here again. Path Diverge, up, 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 I bet it converges back here again, or maybe here again. Ball Divergence down there, etc., etc., right? So, like, I think it's mostly aligned with these little, like, bloops coming off.
Are you certain it's wise to return to Esfrost alone, Your Grace? You are needed here.
If Sikrus's missive is to be believed, I'm afraid matters are far too grave to be left to anyone else.
Who is
Svarog's
Sikrus?
deception is nearing its climax. His ill-gotten profits are being used to build a weapon of untold destructive power.
Our anonymous source from the manufactory hinted at as much. Svarog is bold to have carried out his plan this far.
Death Snell? What's that?
Let the adults speak, my dear.
If we're to be wed, then there should be trust between us. How long do you intend on treating me like a child?
As long as you act and think like a child.
Very well. Tell her, Thalos.
If you insist, brother. This weapon combines the powerful explosives developed by Dragan with Esfrost's mastery of steelcraft.
A cannon.
Although yet to be tested, this cannon is said to have the power to breach even Hyzon's walls. The goddess's shield would buckle under a single blast.
But the shield is impregnable.
I have heard nothing of this. Do you think so little of your general?
A general is to win me victory, as and when I command it.
Svarog's intent isn't to bring Hyzant to heel, however. He means to use the cannon against Brother. But the fool was so blinded by ambition that he never saw the strings guiding his every deed.
Ayoy.
Fool that
How's
he
it going,
may
that
be,
dude?
He served his purpose well. The cannon could not have been
Boy,
made
this
without
kid
his
pet-pets.
engineers and Dragan's research.
Boy,
He will
get the
die
pet-pets.
secure in the knowledge that his bloodline contributed to the glory of Esfrost. Sadly, he shall not live to see his work completed. With it, we shall do what our forebears could not. The goddess's shield shall yield before Esfrost's might and ingenuity.
Here's the thing, though, like...
If we can even approach the walls, brother. The trade embargo will ensure that Hyzant
Ministry
is
of Medicine
especially
just
wary
said
of our
they had
actions.
their own special weapon, so we're
On
about
the
to go
contrary,
special weapon off.
Their focus will turn inward. With naught else to leverage their influence with, they will take measures to see that none of their precious salt escapes their borders. There may be some gnashing of teeth, to be sure, but it will only be in an attempt to hide their inner turmoil. Erica, muster a force and march to the Hierophant's palace at once. Deliver to Hyzant my final demands.
As you wish, brother. I shall gather what news I can of the Saintly Seven's machinations.
Thalos, you will remain in Glenbrook. Conduct yourself as if I had never left.
You hardly need to ask, brother.
That is all. Now go.
What do you mean now go? You're the one leaving. Well, I guess technically Erica's also leaving. The fuck? And then he leaves. It's like...
Even his own flesh and blood are but tools to be used and then discarded when their purpose is served.
He hasn't
He has
discarded them.
faith only in himself. Such has ever been his way.
That's fair. In the still of the night, Odie is silent. It's because he a sleepy boy. Alright, we save. Alright. Alrighty then.
Esfrost and Glenbrook remained strong after declaring a trade stop with Hyzant. Gustadolf sends Erica to Hyzant to deliver his ultimatum, and dispatches an army to Glenbrook to increase the pressure on the Holy State. Hyzant, under the banner of Prince Roland, sends Minister Serenoa Wolfort of the Saintly Seven to prepare for retaliation. Softly but surely, Norzelia descends into war once more.
It had already been at war. Except for Hyzant, which kinda was repeatedly threatening war, so kinda, yeah, still at war.
Those are the Archduke's wishes. I implore you not to forget that this is his final offer. Come to think of it, I heard that Wolfort was added to your saintly ranks. Where might he be?
I'm afraid I cannot answer that. The dealings of the Saintly Seven are our business, and ours alone.
How disappointing. I had hoped to congratulate him on his promotion.
That wretched woman. Those are hardly wishes.
Esfrost all but demands us open the source to restore our diplomatic relations.
The Duchy fears neither a lack of salt nor the goddess's shield. We can assume they have a plan in mind.
Then this was no more than a ploy to stall for time. We had best expedite House Wolfort's plans to take the capital. Minister Exham, send word to Minister Serenoa.
Okay. Still feels weird to be called minister. But alright, we'll take it. Did we go home? No? Yes? I think we did. We totally went home. Where our army is. Who'da thunk?
You wish to lend us Hyzant's new weapon?
Yes. It was a directive from the Holy One. The weapon is one Minister Lila developed in secret.
I compressed a vast quantity of magic into crystal form. We call this weapon Elfric.
It's a bomb. They made a magic bomb, and Esfrost made a cannon. Cool.
The blast crystals have yet to be perfected, but they can decimate a castle wall easily enough.
All right, military scenario here, right? Why Hyzant's power? They are not a expansionist organization, right? They're not an expansionist nation, right? They have no interest in expanding and conquering new territory. They have interest in holding the territory that they have, and controlling their resources, salt, with an iron fist. To the point to where their big thing is called the Goddess's Shield, and is a massive wall that defends their great city, nation, etc., right? Why in God's name would they create a weapon capable of penetrating their greatest strength, which is their magnificent wall. Because they're not going to go, they have no intentions of going to war against another nation. Who would they use these castle decimating crystals on?
We thank you for your support.
Plot point. Thanks, game.
Be forewarned that their power makes him unwieldy in an average battle.
I kind of just want to, if I have the opportunity, I would love to just save this and then use it on Hyzant's walls later.
They are not meant to be used on people. Furthermore, we are only giving you a single blast crystal.
Regardless, I am certain it will come in handy while recapturing Whiteholm Castle.
Its incomplete nature makes it regrettably tricky to use, but Milo should be able to take care of that for you. Use them both wisely.
Oh, we have a name
I am Milo.
for the bewitching dancer now. Envoy to the Saintly Seven. A dancer who appears almost out of thin air to do the Saintly Seven's bidding. She serves as their spy and can easily hold her own in a fight. Milo. All right then.
A dancer by trade, but assistant to the Saintly Seven on occasion.
On occasion? I
shall
don't think
serve
anyone
you,
is
Minister
something to the
Serenoa,
Saintly Seven on
until
occasion.
we reclaim the capital.
You sure you'll be okay?
I wouldn't worry about her.
You needn't worry. It isn't my first time flirting with danger.
A Hyzantian spy?
Yeah, of course.
Very likely.
Absolutely.
The blast of the
90,000%.
Elfric should help you catch the enemy unawares. Both my army and Minister Camcells will join in the attack. Can we entrust command to you, Minister Serenoa?
I thought
Most
there
certainly.
wasn't a fight
The
you
crystal
couldn't
will
win,
be key in our
Exham.
plan to reclaim Glenbrook.
Also, it is very strange, right? Like the ministers all have individual tasks, right? The spot that's open is the Minister of the Salt Trade, basically, right? And yet the Minister of the Military, which is XM Marshall, is deferring command of the combined military forces over to Serenoa. Like, okay. I mean, I get it. I get that from the video games perspective, but that is very silly, right? From a actual, like, strategic standpoint. You at scouting Tellior? Why? Okay. You know what? Actually, this is a pretty good place for us to go ahead and end. We made, I think, pretty big strides in the story of the game tonight. A couple things cracked open. I say cracked open. Things, suspicions confirmed, really. I do feel like there's more, like I said, underlying threads here that have not been fully explored or discussed, but we'll get there eventually. As continues, fun game to play, but the story be whack, yo. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.